Hello, my name is Sean Luce, Technical Marketing Engineer for Azure NetApp Files. Microsoft recently announced a new feature called Customer Managed Keys for Azure NetApp Files Volume Encryption. That's right, you can now bring your own keys via Azure Key Vault, giving you better security and more control. In this video, we'll go step by step on how to get started with Customer Managed Keys for Azure NetApp Files Volume Encryption. Before we get started, let's cover a few key points. First of all Azure NetApp Files volumes are encrypted at rest using the FIPS 140-2 standard. The introduction of Customer Managed Keys allows you to choose between Microsoft Managed Keys or Customer Managed Keys on a per volume basis. Customer Managed Keys give you the control to fully manage the relationship between a key's lifecycle, key usage permissions, and auditing operations. Customer Managed Keys for Azure NetApp Files supports keys stored in either Azure Key Vault Standard Tier or Premium Tier. Azure Key Vault Premium Tier provides a FIPS 140-2 Level 2 validated key service via a multi-tenant HSM. For a better understanding of these various options, I do suggest that you take a look at this article titled Key Management in Azure over at learn.microsoft.com. Now that we have the basics out of the way, let's review what we'll be covering in the rest of this how-to video. We'll start by creating a subnet with the Microsoft.KeyVault service endpoint policy. We'll then deploy an Azure Key Vault Premium Tier Vault with a private endpoint connection. This private endpoint connection allows the Azure NetApp Files service to retrieve your key stored in Azure Key Vault. Next, we'll create a key in our new Key Vault. Then we'll configure an Azure NetApp Files account for Customer Managed Keys. We'll then create an Azure NetApp Files volume using your new Customer Managed Key. And finally, we'll review considerations for Customer Managed Keys. Let's get started. From within the Azure portal, navigate to the Azure VNet that contains your Azure NetApp Files delegated subnet. If you do not already have a VNet with an Azure NetApp Files delegated subnet, pause this video now and resume once you have these created. You may have different subnets than I do, but the most important one is the ANF subnet that has been delegated to the Microsoft.NetApp/volumes service. Now, we are going to create a new subnet within this VNet that will contain our Azure Key Vault private endpoints. Give your subnet a name. I gave my subnet an address range of /24, but that is not required. A much smaller subnet would likely work just fine for your environment. Make sure to enable Microsoft.KeyVault within the Services drop-down menu. Now, click Save to create your subnet. Now that our networking is configured, we'll create our Azure Key Vault Premium Tier Vault. From within the Azure portal, navigate to Key Vaults and click Create. Select a resource group. Give your Key Vault a name. Select your region. Choose a pricing tier. For this demo, we'll choose Premium. Click Next to configure access policies. You can choose the default Vault Access Policy or select Azure Role-Based Access Control. For purposes of this demo, I am leaving the default as Vault Access Policy. Click Next to configure network access policies for your vault. Here, we'll select Create a Private Endpoint. Select your resource group, select the location, give your private endpoint a name, Leave the target subresource as Vault. Select the virtual network that contains the subnet we created earlier. Make sure the subnet selected is the subnet we created in the previous step. Private DNS integration is not required. Feel free to select No. Click OK. Now click Review and Create. Now that we have created our key vault, we can now create our key. Navigate to your newly created vault by clicking on Go to Resource. In the left-hand menu, select Keys. Click the Generate/Import button to create a new key. There are multiple options to generate a key, import a key, or restore from a backup. For this demo, we will select Generate to have Azure Key Vault generate a new key for us. Give your key a name. Select a key type. For this demo, we'll select RSA-HSM, which is only available in Azure Key Vault Premium tier. For our RSA key size, we'll select 4096. Click Create to create your new key. At this point, we are ready to configure our Azure NetApp Files account to use our new customer managed key stored in Azure Key Vault. Navigate to your Azure NetApp Files account and select Encryption from the left-hand menu. Toggle the radio button to Customer Managed Key. You can enter your key URI, or you can select from Key Vault. For this demo, we'll select a Key Vault and key. From the drop-down menu, select the Key Vault and key we created in the previous steps. Click the Select button. Finally, choose between System Assigned Managed Identity or User Assigned Managed Identity. This identity is associated with the Azure NetApp Files account and is automatically given the required permissions to your Key Vault. Click Save. Your Azure NetApp Files account is now configured to use customer managed keys. Next, navigate to Volumes, and we'll create a volume that will be encrypted with your key stored in Azure Key Vault. Click the Add Volume button, give your volume a name, select your capacity pool, and notice that the encryption key source now says Customer Managed Key, and the Key Vault private endpoint has been automatically set to the private endpoint we created in the previous step. Continue through the remaining configuration as you normally would to complete the volume creation process. Congratulations, you have now configured Customer Managed Keys and created a new Azure NetApp Files volume encrypted with your very own key. For more information, requirements, and considerations for customer managed keys for Azure NetApp Files volume encryption, go to learn.microsoft.com. Please note there is a very important consideration related to the Managed Service Identity. The Managed Service Identity certificate does not support automatic renewal at this time and has a lifetime of 90 days. The certificate becomes eligible for renewal after 46 days. To renew the certificate and prevent customer managed key volumes from going offline, follow the instructions in the article. I'll include a link to this article at the end of the video and in the description below. Thanks for watching.